The Ibrahim Index of African Governance, and it was put together by the billionaire MO Ibrahim, and the index has formally been announced from the beginning of this week. And according to the index, improvement were experienced in the categories of participation in human rights and human development in Africa. And Ghana was somewhere 7 among 10 countries as far as we're concerned. It's not as if only 10 countries in Africa were part of the index. But overall, they said there was too much of a political tension in Africa, in our governance, in Ghana, especially also in Senegal, that was inhibiting the progress that we needed to be making as far as improving the livelihoods of people and making sure we have adequate governance in our part of the world.
Well, I agree. I agree that
the
there's
political
too much
tension.
Yeah, the political tension.
Always NDC and PP.
MPP, politicization of everything in this country. I don't think it's helping us so much.
Both of you politicize.
Yes, of course. And I don't think that it is helping us so much. I've always said, as a country, if you really want to develop, want to move on, at all material times, put your best foot forward. The best person, the best human resource in the country, bring them on board. Let us think Ghana. There should be a time for campaign. There should be time for partisan politics. There should be time for coming together to build this country. I've always had a problem with even the structure of our election period, this 4-year thing that we do every year. For me, it's simply not the best.
What do you mean? You would want a party, if it wins, to be given 10 years to rule?
Maybe if it's even 8 years, you can plan, you can focus. If it's 1 term, you are given a president, they come.
So when the governance is poor, what do? You have to wait till the next 10 years?
You see, what will make governance poor is when the institutions are not working. If the institutions are living up to their stars, they are doing their work, we have a strong parliament, you have a strong judiciary, why shouldn't the institutions work?
But Fred, would you say that currently governance in Ghana has improved, especially, for example, we've had budget overruns, and all these are very much unruly because they go against what the regulations say, as far as in terms of what you have to spend and how, if you want to spend, you have to go back to Parliament and do the appropriate things regulatorily to make sure you get all things done. We have a Financial Management Act. We seem to be flouting it. The Public Procurement Act, we seem to be flouting it most of the times. And all these have been captured in state report, the Auditor General's report, etc. So we seem to be having problem inherent that we also need to tackle as far as supervision, leadership, and governance structure is concerned.
So it comes back to the issue that I raised earlier on about not equipping our institutions to work independently. To that respect, our parliament has become more or less a rubber stamp. The ruling government always has a majority in parliament, so whatever they want to do, they make sure they push it through parliament, and they will vote for it anyway. Whether it is good or it is bad, they will vote for it anyway. We should, this whole provision in the constitution where even ministers come from parliament and the stuff like that, are things we need to look at. Parliament should be very independent. Parliament should be able to call government or the executive arm of the government to order. How come you have overrun your budget? This is what they are supposed to use. How come you have gone beyond that? Parliament should be able to do it. But if you have a situation where the majority of the people from the government side, they will go and water everything down, and at the end of the day, it comes back to the ordinary person.
You're a young politician. How do we tend to correct this so that you also don't go out, you become a member of parliament, a minister of state in a day or one day, and you're also still perpetuating all these?
The point I'm making is that let us allow this institute to work independently.
How do we allow the institutions to work, Fred?
This provision of having majority of ministers from parliament, for me, does make sense to me. It doesn't make sense because once people are in parliament and they think that the only way I can cut the eye of the president can see me and appoint me is when I do the government's lobby, I do the president lobby. So when they're bringing something that's not even good for the entire country, they are not bold and courageous enough to say, okay, this one, no, Mr. President, if you don't mean your party, I disagree with you. We are not able to do that. Now, go to even the judiciary. There is so much influence, the executive influence, everything. We have bastardized every institution. We interfere in the activities of every institution. We don't allow them to operate independently. The point I'm making is that this 4-year cycle election thing is causing us a lot of problems. If we can look at it, maybe 1 term, 8 years, 7 terms, something like that. So go look at the money that we spend every now and then in an election, 4 years. After the 4 years, we come back, we are going for another election. Everything has become politicized, and we don't seem to be making any headway. For me, it's a worry for me. What we need to do is build the institutions, strengthen the institutions, let them work independently. I know it is going to be difficult for us to do it, but let us be committed. Let us say we want to do it, and somehow we'll find a way out.
Frank, thank you very much. And Fred Agbenyo is a member of the NDC's communication team, joining us this morning on AM Talk as we look at what
I'm aspiring for Deputy National Propaganda of my party.
He is aspiring for Deputy
National Propaganda Secretary.
National Propaganda Secretary. Okay.
Of NDC.
Okay. What's a propaganda?
Communication.
Communication. Okay, so we wish you well. And so now you're touching base with the delegates. How many delegates will be voting?
Well, we have over 4,000 delegates across the whole country. It's not a small job. Picking a car and driving.
Your elections, are you also going to do it the way MPP does?
No, we will have a conference.
You just have one
stop election. It's going to be very difficult, but it costs for money. So if you have some money to come and support,
why should it call for money? If you're good, it should be.
No, it's not about that. You need to get in touch with the delegates. You need to drive to their place.
Okay.
Drive from here to West.
So it is those logistics. That's why you need the money.
That's right.
Not because you have to give them money. All right.
So if you invite them to wherever, you have to give the TNT to go back. If you get to Tamale, invite somebody from a village somewhere, he drives to your place. Why no? You don't leave him to go like that. You have to feed him.
Fred Agbenyo is a member of the NDC's communication team, and thanks for joining me this morning. And that'll be it for the morning. And we know that Kwao Suman, who is an aide to Nana Adodankwe Kufuor of the MPP, was not able to join us in the studio. We hope to have him sometime when we schedule him as much as possible.